Time flies in football, and what seems like yesterday, it seems is actually not. I was about to tell a story, a West Ham story, about a player, sort of in the knowledge, I was going to skim over the surface in the knowledge that everybody would know what I was talking about. It's the story of Mauricio Taricco. Now, when I looked at it, I thought, hold on, that was 2004. That's a long time ago. There's people who are not going to know the story at all. So I'll condense it as shortly as I can. Mauricio Taricco was a fullback. He was an Argentinian international, and he played for Tottenham Hotspur. He signed for West Ham for decent money. I think it was about 25 grand a week, something like that. On his first appearance, his very first appearance for West Ham, he pulled his hamstring. Mauricio was gutted, and he sort of had an inkling that it might be the end of his career anyway. And rather than take the 2 years' worth of money that he was due from West Ham United, he made the decision to terminate his contract. When asked about it, he said, look, you know what, the club bought me in good faith. The club have given me this big contract. I can't really take their money if I'm not going to be able to play. He terminated his contract. What a guy. You know, I mean, that is just an honest fella. You can't really ask for fairer than that. Yes, he'd had a good career, and he's gone on and he's been assistant manager at a few clubs now, and good on him. I used that as an example, but I could have used Carlton Cole, of course. When we got relegated, Carlton Cole just went straight in, offered to have his wages halved. Because relegation, he felt responsible for the relegation. He wanted to ease the financial burden on the club. A nice thing to do. A nice fella. The other one, not so much West Ham, but it was Mido. Now, I know, Mido didn't turn out to be the best player for West Ham at all. Lots of jokes, a bit overweight, and so on and so forth. But he was so desperate to prove himself that he took wages of £1,000. He said, look, pay me £1,000, I'll come over, and I'll prove myself, and I'll show you how good I am. Now, whether he did or whether he didn't is neither here nor there. It showed that the game of football was more important to him. It showed that he had something about his character. And I would say the same thing about those three players. I only speak about those because what I'm about to talk about now is a complete contrast to that. The complete opposite to that. So I'm going to talk to you about Tottenham Hotspur. I'm going to talk to you about Alex Song. They're two different stories, but they come at the same time. And they come at a time where, as you all know, I think football really needs to be taking a good, long, hard look at itself. It's playing the orphan Oliver. It's playing the pauper. It's making out its skin. Football is awash with money. I made the point yesterday in my video. They are absolutely minted. The two stories that caught my eye. Number one, Daniel Levy has come out in the press, and he has just announced that 550 non-playing staff are going to be, I think, taking a 20% wage cut. Now, as I also understand it, there will be some people released as well. Now, I don't know the exact details, but one thing I am certain of is that it's been released that 550 Tottenham staff are having to take a 20% pay cut. Now, I find this scandalous. Yes, I know many of us are all having to take pay cuts. Myself, I'm in a sticky situation myself. I'm having to apply for universal credit. It is not an easy thing to do. I understand the government are doing a bailout, and the government are doing exactly that ratio. The government are trying to cover 80% of people's wages. So actually, what Tottenham are doing falls in line exactly with that. So the non-playing staff get 80% of their wages. So it all would seem fine, right? Well, maybe, but I don't think so. Because it takes the context out of the situation. Because let's say you work for Halfords, and what you do is you fit tyres all day, or you fit car batteries or something like that. Then actually the government stepping in and helping to pay your wages is probably advantageous, because you know what? Because Halfords probably ain't that rich. Halfords probably can't continue to trade for the next 3 to 6 months without any income coming in, and with all that money for wages going out. They get government help, it's fine, you understand it. But it appears that some football clubs are also asking the government for some help. Now, I don't mind. Look, if Billericay or Aldershot Town or somebody like that have got some full-time employees, they're going to need government help. Clearly, I'm not talking about those clubs. I'm talking about Premier League clubs. I'm talking about clubs that get Champions League money. I'm talking about clubs that have been feasting at the table of riches for year after year after year, who are now reducing the wages of their lowest paid staff. If you're on 10 quid an hour and you do a cleaning job at Tottenham Hotspur, or you do catering at Tottenham Hotspur, something like that, one of those jobs, we don't know exactly the jobs. It might not be that. I'm willing to be corrected. But I'm talking about the menial jobs, the smallest jobs, the lowest paid jobs. That £10 an hour, you're now getting 8 quid. Many might not see a problem with that. But here's where I take issue with it. Tottenham Hotspur, last year, I had something ringing in my mind. And it was an article for last year. And I've dug it up and I found it. And it was about Tottenham posting a world record profit. This article was up less than a year ago. Of all the clubs in the world, £113 million profit. You all know Daniel Levy, the chairman, the chief executive, whatever he is. Daniel Levy last year earned £7 million. £7 million. As it stands, the players have not taken a pay cut. I'm just going to read something to you now. He says, should have had that prepared, really, shouldn't I? He says, Spurs are reducing the wages of non-playing staff by 20%. This much we know. This means that 550 employees will endure the cuts for the next 2 months and comes after the Premier League. Basically, it goes on about something else. 2 months. As far as we know, it could stretch longer. It probably will. The club's operations have effectively ceased, said Daniel Levy. Some of our fans will have lost their jobs and most will be worried about their future. Our sponsors will be concerned about their businesses. Our media partners have no certainty when we may play games again or whether we'll be allowed to play in front of our fans. In the meantime, the club has annual cost base running into the hundreds of millions of pounds. We have seen some of the biggest clubs in the world, such as Barcelona, Bayern Munich and Juventus, take steps to reduce their costs. Firstly, Juventus, all the players have agreed not to take their wages. So it's not exactly the same, is it, Daniel? The other thing he says, in the meantime, the club has an annual cost base running into the hundreds of millions of pounds. I can tell you now, it ain't the cleaners and the catering staff and all of those that are making it cost hundreds of millions of pounds. If you want to trim, if you have a problem that is an expenditure of hundreds of millions of pounds, you better trim that. Not the smallest. It's the people at the bottom that are suffering. Look, believe you me, I'm no socialist. I'm really not. One of my first ever jobs, I did a temping agency at a job centre. I saw enough people coming through that job centre who had no desire to work at all. They just wanted to turn up, get the book stamped and go off and basically spend their gyro. You could tell there were some people really, really wanted to job, really wanted to work, and others just didn't. All right? I believe if you work hard, you should prosper more than somebody who can't be bothered to get off his lazy arse. I don't believe that, okay? Not socialism itself, but this is not that. This is not that. These are people that want to work. These are people that want to do their job, yet they're taking a pay cut. And all the while, Harry Kane and Dele Alli and all these other players are getting in excess of £100,000 a week. I'm sure one or two are on 200 grand a week, something like that. How does that sit if you are a footballer and there's somebody in your place of work, because Tottenham Hotspur is their place of work, there's someone in your place of work who's has either lost their job or having their wages trimmed from 10 quid to 8 quid. Well, you've got a yacht. And I just don't understand this. Because surely, football family, I've always thought that is a load of rubbish, by the way, football family. It is the least family-like thing around. It really is. They make out we're all in it together. We're not in it together. Nothing like. The fans are not treated well at all. And I'll tell you what, now you're getting to the point where the staff are not treated well. The article makes a point, by the way, that West Ham have kept all of their staff on full wages. Well done, West Ham, but I would point out at this juncture, that you're not comparing apples with apples. Because West Ham moved stadium, we don't have those staff. Those staff are employees of London Stadium. Yes, there's a media team. Yes, there's people working in the office. Yes, there's people in the ticket office and stuff like that. Yes. But there's nowhere near the number of staff. We are not talking running into, I think Tottenham may well have 700 staff members, something like that, maybe 800 or 900. West Ham don't have anything like that. The stewards are not West Ham, the catering's not West Ham. All of that stuff that you see is not West Ham. So you're not comparing. It's easier for West Ham to make these. I will still praise them for not cutting anyone's wages. And that's the right thing to do. Because regardless of our top earner might not earn as much as Harry Kane, they're still rich people. The West Ham players are rich people. The owners, one of our owners worth £1.5 billion, the other ones are worth 500 million. You'd think there's enough to go round. But getting back to Tottenham, Daniel Levy last year earned £7 million, including a £3 million bonus. Yet there he is cutting wages of people who just can't afford it. And then he's appealing, he's saying, oh, look, we don't know our sponsors. Do you know what? You've been eating, you've been feasting at the table for long enough. You would think, and I only dig Tottenham out, not because it's Tottenham, I know it's easy, they're our rivals and the rest of it, but whoever this article came up, I would not have been happy about it. So just feel it's time for everybody to be fair. Football is awash with money. It has been for a long, long time. People have been getting basic wage at football clubs. The London living wage, we've only just seen that literally the lowest legal amount clubs can pay their employees. That's what they do. That's what they pay them. While those at the top are earning millions and millions and millions. And you know this from watching football. Sometimes they don't even, it's not like they're producing excellence every game. I just feel it's time for a little bit of that money to filter down. And there's the other article that really got my attention. It was Alex Song. You remember Alex Song? He used to play for us. Good footballer, by the way. Really good footballer. He could have, I feel under different management, Alex Song could have had a very, very good a good time at West Ham. I don't feel that the team was built around him. Clever footballer, first touch pass and the rest of it. Alex Song is taking his club, FCC, on to court. He's threatening legal action. Sion are a Swiss club, for those of you that don't know. They were struggling. A lot of these clubs don't have the Premier League money, have not been receiving millions, billions over the years. Sion's money comes from turnstiles, by and large. There's a small, it's not, look, without offending anybody, there's not a huge clamour to watch the Swiss League play football. There's no Champions League, there's no European football as well, or anything like that. They don't even have the prospect of qualifying for that and earning money from that. The money has dried up for them. So they asked their players to reduce their wages to €12,000 a week. Alex Song was one of them. Basically, 9 of them refused. 9 of them have since been sacked. They've been dismissed. Alex Song has come out in the news and basically said he's going to take them to court. He's leave it in the hands of his representatives. Now, Alex Song played for Arsenal, got a transfer to Barcelona, came to us on loan. I think he came on loan twice, maybe. Then he got a transfer from Barcelona to Rubin Kazan. Now, for those of you that don't know, Rubin Kazan at that point were trying to make themselves the Paris Saint-Germain of world football, if you like. They were awash with Russian oil money. Absolutely awash of it. He signed on there for big, big bucks. I don't know what his signing on fee was, but it was significant. Recently, people began to China for mega paydays. Everyone was going to Rubin Kazan and getting massive money. In the end, the oil money dried up. He had his contract terminated. I think UEFA had to come in, or FIFA had to come in or something and terminate his contract, but he earned a lot of money. Basically, at Arsenal, at West Ham, at Barcelona, and particularly Rubin Kazan, before the money dried up, he has earned big money. We are talking, he is worth millions and millions and millions, Alex Song. Yet he can't, to help his club survive, drop down to €12,000 a week. Honestly, I cannot, I just hope when all this is said and done, that football takes a long hard look at itself. I don't think it will. So I think it's up to somebody to force football to take a look at itself. And as I say, it's not about, mate, the world-class striker gets paid the same as the cleaner. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, in times of difficulty, you've got the elite at the top of the club who are minted multi-millionaires penny pinching off of the staff, the day-to-day staff that really facilitate that running of the club. I think it's a joke. I really do. But look, hopefully it all gets sorted out. But it has annoyed me, as you can tell. It has annoyed me. You just got to keep reminding yourself that for every Alex song, there's a Mauricio Taricco.